Friends, once again, welcome to this IBC Conclave, full day conclave under the aegis of Insolvency and Valuation Standard Board of ICAI and hosted by EIRC of ICAI. This is IBC Conclave 4.0, reinforcing to the roots, and we start our inaugural session. I'll request CA Vishwaranjan Sutar, member EIRC, to kindly join us on the dais, followed by CA Hariram Agarwal, Secretary EIRC. I'd request Chairman EIRC to kindly come on the dais. I'd request CA Gyan Chand Mishra, Central Council member and Chairman of IVSB ICI, kindly come on the dais, followed by our past President ICAI, CA Dr. Devasis Mitra sir. We also have among us CGM of IBBI, our esteemed guest. We request Sri Sivanand Sekhar sir to kindly join us on the dais, and our chief guest for the day, Honorable Justice Sesasai sir, to kindly come on the dais. Please give a huge round of applause while we welcome all of them. I request everyone to kindly raise for the ICI motto song.
येष सुप्तेषु जागृति येष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you everyone. I request the console to kindly play the I video.
Dear esteemed members, Team EIRC welcomes you. Our theme EYEI stands for Ethics, Youth Empowerment, which reflects our deep-rooted vision since 1949. The responsibility of EIRC is to serve 30,000 members and 60,000 CA students. We invite you to help us in carving the future driven by integrity, independence and excellence. Let us start the journey to build a vibrant EIRC.
Friends, we are happy to once again inform you that this year on 21st and 22nd of November, EIRC will be hosting its 50th regional conference. The registration are already going on. We are getting a tremendous response. We have already crossed more than 1,000 delegates. 1st of September is the last date for early bird registration. The prices will be increasing post that. So those of you who have not registered, kindly register and inform others also. Thank you. Coming back to the session, I request all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly join us for the lighting of lamp. We also have past chairpersons of EIRC, CA Sonu Jain and CA Nitesh Moore. I request you both also to kindly join.
शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मा
Friends, I would request Chairman EIRC, CA Vishnu Tulsian, to kindly welcome the chief guest and felicitate him. While the felicitation is going on, I would take the pleasure of introducing him. Justice N. Seshase, native of Tamil Nadu, was born in Kerala. Son of a judicial officer, he had a diverse early education before graduating with a university rank in economics from Madurai Kamaraj University and later earning his law degree from Madras Law College in 1986. He joined the Tamil Nadu State Judicial Services as a district judge in 2004 and served in various capacities before being elevated to the Madras High Court in 2016. He retired as a judge in January 2025 and currently serves as a judicial member of Conclave. His interests include fine arts, cricket, Indian philosophy and legal literature. I again request Chairman EIRC to kindly felicitate our esteemed guest, CGM IBBI, Sri Sivanand Sekhar sir. Sri Sivanand Sekhar sir is an MBA and LLB from Delhi University with over 2 decades of distinguished experience in the financial and regulatory sector. He has served with premier regulatory institutions like National Housing Bank, the Reserve Bank of India. He has also been a board member of the largest regional rural bank. Presently, he is serving as CGM IBBI New Delhi, where he has been on deputation since April 22. I would request Hariramji, Secretary EIRC, to kindly welcome and felicitate CA Gyanchand Mishra, Chairman IVSB ICAI. We also have CA Dr. Devasis Mitra sir. I would request the secretary sir to kindly felicitate both of them, and I would also request CA Vishwaranjan Sutar to kindly join for this felicitation. Thank you everyone. I request Chairman EIRC for his welcome address.
Good morning to everyone. Shuprabhat. Namaskar. Friends, it's a matter of great pride for me that today we are hosting basically IBC 4.0. This is the 4th successive years of IBC. And every year we are getting the new height. And I thanks to all my committee members first because they are the person behind it to make it such a nice full journey of the IBC the 4 years before. Previous year we had a residential seminar in Bhubaneswar, which was 2 days program, and Sumanto sir was one of the guest speaker there, along with Jay sir, who was there also there. So thanks to all of you, and you are only the phone call away. So this is a pride for us that we always get you there. Sit on the dais, chief guest sir, Justice N. Sesaya sir, who is very a spiritual person, I can say, and very rational persons. Our guest of honor, IBBI, Anand sir, and Devasis Mitra, the past president ICAI, guest of honor, and only past president of World Congress Accountant. It cannot be taken away from anybody else. And our own chairman, Gyanchand Misra ji of Insolvency and Valuation Standard Board, who always supported me, ki VKT, whatever you want to do, please do. I am there. So thanks for support, sir, from Delhi. Along with my colleagues in council, Vice Chairman, sir, CA Mayur Agarwal ji, my younger brother, and my elder brother, CA Hiram ji Agarwal, the Secretary of EIRC, and my brother from Odisha, Vishnu Sutar ji. Thanks for coming here, and thanks for supporting this event. I'd like to tell one thing that once Prime Minister Narendra Modi told, I think 6 months before, I remember, when he told that after IBC is into the picture, the economic condition of the country has evolved, because we are removing the NPA from the banking systems, from the financial sectors, and we are coming further. By that way, the ranking of India is also growing, what sir also told just right in his speech. And I was just going through the journal issued by the IBBI. It was mentioned some fact that till now we have admitted 8,300 cases and we have disposed of 4,500 cases. In totality, we have collected 4.9 lakhs crore rupees, and it was pumped again to the systems. So by that way, we are increasing our GDP, and by that way also tax collections. So ultimately, we are in the growth engine. So IBC is being proved as a growth engine for the Indian economy. As chartered accountant, we are the financial doctors. We are the architect of this economy. So by this way, we are also contributing ourselves, because 60% of the insolvency professionals are chartered accountant. So it is also a responsibility on our shoulder that we should come forward and do ethically all the work done, because we also have kept our theme, ethics is the first word, because without ethicals, we cannot sustain for the long term. So ethics is the paramount situation which cannot be compromised. This is what, as a chairman, I can say from this podium. Further, as a 69th chairman of EIRC, I must say some points that in the I, EYEI, E stands for ethics, Y stands for youth, and E for empowerment. So you all sitting here is here to learn something. So according to me, all are youth. Youth doesn't mean the 60 years or 20 years or 25 years. It is youth means one who is always eager to learn something. So this is a youth definition from my point of view. Yes, I, as a 69th chairman of the EIRC, have taken 11 points, which was displayed in this audio. One point which we just had a program in international tariff versus challenge and opportunity for India. We just held a program 2 days before, which was well publicized across these regions, where the things was told that we must be vocal for the local. Because the imposition of 50% tariff on the many items of this government from this India is going to, of course, it is hitting less. Still, I feel trade should be free, not under compulsion. So we India had to thought and very thought-spoken leaders are thinking that yes, our advisory should be to how to engross our trade. And we should see other export market, be Europe, be Africa, be other parts of the world, so that we can neutralize within a short time to come. Second part, as a chartered accountant, as chairman, I think that I am the chairman of these 30,000 members in the state of India. It is my responsibility that how I can create the responsibility and the opportunity for chartered accountants. So I am with my team meeting all the eastern parts of the country, going to meet governors, their chamber of commerce, their other associates. Recently we visited Nagaland, Tripura, and tomorrow I am going to Mizoram to meet the concerned honorable governors to display what chartered account is doing and what capability we have and how we can create the synergy. So this is what I am doing with the support of all of you. One more thing I started that a chartered accountant, I think, is capable in the financial things and other many things. So I cannot call all the chartered accountant to be a speaker. So I have started the Golden Charcha scheme under which every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, I am inviting the chartered accountant who have the knowledge but have some types of hesitation how to speak. So for this purpose, I have started this one so that they can be given a further chance to come and use the platform of EIRC. This started, so anyone in the audience want to speak on this Golden Charcha, please come. We have our other teams. Please inform us on your particular topics, whom you want to speak on that. Third part we started of sustainability. We have removed our flower bouquet systems and we have removed with the plant because plant is growing and flower bouquet is decaying. So we want to give the plant further and hence our theme is also reinforcing the roots. Because if roots are strong, nobody can deroot us. So this is what our concept is. Although we have a lot of things and we are also going to hold a Golden Jubilee conference and we are fortunate that we are holding it in Kolkata. So all are requested to please come forward. Further, one last point, those who are knowing any chartered accountant with difference, chartered accountant with difference from Eastern India, not living in India, maybe in abroad also, please nominate their name so that we can recognize them before our fraternity from the EIRC. I feel this is my family of 30,000. If I will not recognize, who will recognize? So I request all of you with humble hands, please nominate those names because the sir who was just nominated, I just saw his name in the paper, in the newspaper. I immediately called, sir, I want to meet you. I am available in Kolkata on 30th and we call them. So this is what we are doing. So I request all of you, please come forward and help the EIRC to be a vibrant EIRC. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Now we have C.A. Gyanchand Mishra, Chairman of IVSB. He will be addressing us. I would like to appraise everyone under his leadership. We has the first international conference of IBC at Singapore in 2023. Welcome, sir. Over to you for your address.
So much thank you, Mayurji. At the outset, we worship Goddess of Knowledge, Ma Saraswati. Astu Ma Sadgamay, Tamshu Ma Jyotirgamay. Let the lightness prevail and darkness to go. On the dais, very distinguished Chief Guest, Honorable Justice Ian Sesasai sir, Honorable Member NCLAT, and let me tell you, friends, about 1.5 months back only, I had the opportunity to share the dais with Justice Sesasai sir in COE, Hyderabad. So his thought towards the profession of IBC, wish a wish to the judiciary engagements is truly immense. I'll request each one of you to kindly give a big round of applause for Sesa Sai sir for accepting our request to be chief guest in today's program. Honorable guest of honor, CGM IBBI, Sri Shiv Anand Sankar ji. And friends, when I came in the council in the last term, I had the opportunity that first president of my tenure was CA Debashish Mitra sir. And I was given the responsibility of vice chairman of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Committee. At that time, this was committee. And since then, I got the opportunity to interact with the regulatory body, that is IBBI. In so many issues, I have witnessed the thoughtfulness of Shiv sir, that he is so deeply involved in each and every aspect of the regulation, that any issue with respect to the insolvency professionals or regulations of the insolvency profession, he is well versed and he has kindly consented to be here today. Sir, we welcome you and we are thankful. We'll request you to kindly again give a big round of applause to Shivanand Sankar ji. Another guest of honor, CA Dr. Debashish Mitra sir, Honorable past President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And let me tell you friends, I served from branch to region, got the opportunity to chairman of the branch, Ghaziabad branch, then chairman of Central India Regional Council, got the opportunity to be in the Central Council. But I have seldom seen a person whose articulation about the things are so strong. In the council, I well remember when we came, his thoughts, his spontaneous thought process with respect to the issues and how to get them resolved, and most importantly, how to have a better control on the entire working of the council. Sir, we have learned a lot from you and you are always a role model to us. That was the first year, but I always say from dais, in the profession and leadership, he was the first love. So we'll request you all to kindly give a big round of applause to CA Dr. Debashish Mitra sir, Chairman of EIRC Vishnu Tulsian ji, like a younger brother to me. And let me tell you, when even I was not in council, he was in touch and he continued the relationship. And I am very happy to see that now he is chairing this region, which is very important from various angles. And I wish that under his tenure he will do the most important act, that is the Golden Jubilee celebration of EIRC very successfully. Mayur ji, Vishwaranjan Sutar ji, very distinguished speakers of today's program, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to one and all. I'll not speak much about the IBC because I understand well that the persons who have been on the dais before this session and who are yet to come, they all are very, very much equipped and learned persons. And I have just heard Sumant ji regarding the IBC amendment bill 2025, which is as of now lying before the select committee, how beautifully he explained the entire bill in just 40 minutes. So this is how the insolvency profession and professionals, of course, can take the benefit of such learned speakers to enhance their knowledge, skills, and of course, to make this profession, which is still toddler, I will say, not very young, to make it more successful, viable, and of course, result-oriented as expected by the parliamentarian. Now, two things very quickly I would like to say. What's new that we are seeing? Holistically, if we see, this is new India. And all thought process of the government is towards the reform of the whole infrastructure, legal framework, and each and every area which could flourish the country in a better way. We are witnessing that so many things are happening with the country, which has global impact. But we are blessed that having a stable government and decisive leadership, the day ahead is not far when the country will be witnessing to be the fourth largest economy and of course the third largest economy. Role of the professionals as insolvency professional and importance of the IBC law has established its own impetus in the entire structure of the financial restructuring. In last 7 years, so many things have been done in the country through the IBC law, and the rest in coming time, not only in the country but of course across the globe. This law would be the most suitable restructuring law where the professionals will find their way to practice. I am sure that the young professionals who are entering in this profession, they shall feel it good that probably when the law started 7 years back, so many responsibilities, though I am pro-insolvency professional, because I am also insolvency professional. I always from the dais advocate for the insolvency professionals, that there are so many responsibility on the insolvency professionals, and that should be recognized also by the government. And probably there are so many things which should be taken at ease when it comes to the insolvency professionals, compliance issues at least. If 1 day is delay, 2 days delay, so hefty penalties, so that is probably not required. Because we all are human beings. Suppose someone gets one case, they have to comply so many things within a week. So how we can expect that an insolvency professional will work like a machine, automated machine? So this is one thing that I always advocate. The second thing that I have represented before the IBBI also, last time also I had requested to the various dignitaries on the dais that one thing that is very important to see regarding the operational creditors, that their existence sometime is in danger. if someone has, given a huge amount to the CD through the supply of goods and services. So all these few of the points I think that still needs to be considered and to be taken care, but holistically, I'm sure about it, that a country like India, where the pace of growth is too high, the IBC law will certainly play its vital role in the entire ecosystem of the financial structuring. Two things very quickly that I would like to share with, as we all are chartered accountants, most of the people. So two important things that the institute has come up with. How many of you know that we have a separate committee regarding aggregation of CA firm? Can you raise the hand? Aggregation of CA firm. Committee for aggregation of CA firms. See, friends, Honorable Prime Minister wants that India needs, now it is time, in the new India needs the chartered accountant firms like Big Four firms. Though Big Four have not been given any certificate that they are Big Four, but they have become Big Four by their size, by their work, and by their structure. So now, how the country can give its own indigenous domestic Big Four? Honorable past President, sir, is on the dais, and I still remember that when he was President, he has initiated this work. So many times MCM secretary meeting was also done, but that could not happen because so many external and internal factors are working at a time when you are thinking the bigger challenges. So, but now Institute has come up with this separate committee, and I'll request the chairman, sir, to kindly arrange one program, especially for 2 hours, 3 hours, regarding the new norms of the merger, acquisition, and aggregation of the CA firms. Because until unless we are bigger, we can't think big. And always remember, a small piece of the big bread is better than the small bread. If we are even 2%, 3%, 1% partner of a firm, income of which firm is 1,000 crore, 10,000 crore, 20,000 crore, that could be probably better than our practice which we are doing in 50 lakhs, 1 crore, 5 crores. So now the time is coming that we have to aggregate, we have to merge, we have to come up with a bigger objective, because the government is totally dedicated that domestic bigger firms are to be given by ICAI, and ICAI is totally committed for it. We are trying at our best. So many meetings in this year has happened, 4 or 5 meetings, and we are trying that big firms come together and formula is worked out so that the aggregation could be done. Another change that has happened this year, that is with regard to the tax audit. How many of you are aware about it? Sir, from next year, there is, as of now, if a firm has 20 partners, under 44AB, one partner can have 60 audits. Aggregately, 1,200 audits, 60 into 20. Even one partner can do 1,200 audits. So, the council considered this important agenda. A huge discussion was done, and then it was decided, henceforth, all the partners shall have the responsibility to sign their audit report themselves. Suppose a firm has 10 partners, all the 10 partners have to sign their own report. One partner can't sign 600 report. So this is a major change, and respect full change in the interest of the youngsters, because they shall have more opportunity with respect to the audits in coming time. One more big change is going to come. Earlier we used to have some issues with respect to the communication with the previous auditor regarding the audit by the incoming auditor. Now that is, institute is coming through UDIN, that through UDIN you will communicate with the previous auditor, and all your conversation will be duly recorded to the institute and communicated to the institute also. So henceforth I think that disciplinary proceedings with respect to the communication with the previous auditor, that will substantially reduce, because when you will communicate to the previous auditor through UDIN, there will be no requirement with respect to the producing substantial proof that I had communicated to the previous auditor. I will not take much time. I am very conscious about it that I have taken 2, 3, 4 minutes more than given to me. I am truly thankful to the region that they have invited me in this very wonderful program. This is their yearly event and they always do very beautifully. Last 2 years I could not attend, but this year Chairman sir told me that you have to come. So this is again opportunity to come to City of Joy, Kolkata, and interact with the members. The last thing that I would like to tell, when I became chairman of Insolvency Committee first time in 2023, we came up with resolve. So first resolve was held in Singapore in 2023. The second was held in Delhi last year, and third edition is expected to be launched very soon, and will request you all to kindly register for the same. We are trying that the Resolve brand continues with the best of the professional updates, values, enrichment of the amendments and updates, and of course attending the program will be certainly valued addition in the professional dimensions of the practicing professionals. So thank you very much, Chairman sir, for inviting me. Jai Hind, Jai ICAI, keep connected, and always think that we are the professionals who are contributing to the society at large to make the India greater, and Vishu Guru. Thank you very much for patience.
Thank you so very much, sir, for sharing all the updates in and out IBC and related to the institute. Now we'll be listening to none other than past president of ICAI, one of the most celebrated past president across the country and abroad as well, CA Dr. Devasis Mitra. Kindly welcome him with a resounding clap.
Honorable Justice N. Sheshashi, the Honorable Member NCLAT, Anand Shankarji, he is the CGM of IBBI. My former colleague in the council, I am no longer in the council now of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Gyan Mishra, the Chairman of Eastern Regional Council, Vishnu Tulsian, and the other regional council members who are present on the dais. I'll not take time, names just to, in the interest of time. Batraji, who is sitting in the front, and ladies and gentlemen, a very, very good afternoon to all of you. I don't propose to take more than 5 to 6 minutes when I speak, but I have seen this profession grow in front of my eyes. I entered the council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in 2016. And I still recall that, you see, in November 2016, the council had to debate as to whether we should form an IPA ourselves. And all the council members, they were saying that what future is there in this? There is no future. Why you invest 10 crore rupees of the members' funds in this and create an IPA? But there were so many of us who put our hand up and we said that, you see, the future is going into uncharted areas. And the institute, I still recall, we took a decision at about 1 o'clock to form this IPA of the institute at Noida. And the institute formed it. We did not know where exactly what was going to happen in the future. But let me tell you, after having formed that, we have never ever regretted our decision. The profession embraced our decision with both arms. Today, I believe more than 60% of the resolution professionals are chartered accountants. So, you see, that is the way, the profession is. I was telling sir just now about Mr. Mishra. He was a member of NCLAT. So many others, you see, who have been chartered accountants and who have also served NCLT and NCLAT. 2016, and people like us, we were seeing the Act evolve. In 2017-18, there was a lot of, in the initial stages, it was not regulated. Nobody knew what was happening. But as the judicial, the judicial intervention started taking place, it became more organized and more regulated. And as we progressed, the committees like the committee which Gyan Mishra chairs, these committees became very, very active. And then along with that, the institute also has a separate IPA. And that's IPA, IBBI, it interacts more closely with the IPA that we have. They started talking to the IPA, not very much on the regulation side, which I wanted. I was in the board of the IPA, Institute's IPA. But IBBI was more interested, a point that Mr. Batra said, on the disciplinary mechanism. That change took place in the 2020s, after that, after the COVID period, right? So and then there was this, instructions that take decisions within a particular time limit, right? And people like us who used to sit there, who were on the board, who used to say how can you take decisions within this time limit? Discipline, you must give them an opportunity of being heard. But that disciplinary side became such an important area in the post-COVID area. That's the way I saw it, right? The regulation aspect became very, very important. But on the other side by side, the institute tried to spread its wings, even though cross-border insolvency was still a topic of discussion at that stage. What Mishra ji was saying is we went to Singapore. And when we decided, under the able leadership of Gyan Mishra, when we decided to go to Singapore to have a program, we just didn't know how many people will come there. But let me tell you, there were more than 300 there. You see, present there. I think you saw the whole thing, right? We put up stalls, we really, showcased ourselves, what we did. Sir, that's why I'm saying all this, so that the Honorable Justice notes what we do and the way we try to spread our wings, right? And then came the whole issue of ethics. We believe, and IBBI was also putting a stress that, ethics is so important in this profession. And at the institute and in the IPA, we took it up. Right? And we said that, yes, we must do something. We must have ethical standards. Already the institute has ethical standards on this profession, for resolution professionals. The valuation standards was something separate. And the institute had developed the valuation standards, but we were not getting recognition for the valuation standards that we had developed. But we felt that the valuation standards and the insolvency, they were together. So what we did was that the insolvency and the valuation standards, we brought them together. Today, if you see the name of the committee, it is the valuation standards and the insolvency committee, right? So see, that's what we have done. But we were very concerned that whether the valuation standards that we have developed would stand the test of time, number one. Number two, whether it would be restricted amongst chartered accountants only, and whether, it will have wider appreciation. Today, we are trying to promote the valuation standards. In fact, let me tell you, post my presidentship, I was very surprised when one of the national company, one of the tribunals, approached me and said that, can you be a amicus curiae? I said that, in what area? They said that we want you to do, we want your opinion on some issues relating to valuation. So the valuation again has started taking center stage, and those of us who handle valuation, I think this is also an area to be in. The new law is totally welcome. What is saying? It's saying that let us speed up the whole process. Now they are saying that within 14 days, I think, but if you'll correct me, that they have to accept a petition, right? There was this rainbow paper case, 2022 of the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said that if you have a statutory obligation that, in the waterfall mechanism, section 53, that will have to be given a greater prominence. That, to nullify that Supreme Court judgment, we have got to change here. We have got this whole concept of security interest now. We have had a lot of this frivolous petitions. Now they are saying you file a frivolous petition, the penalty could be as high as 2 crores. That's what they are saying. They are now talking about group insolvencies. They're talking about cross-border insolvencies. I think this is a very, very good law. I didn't hear him speak for the whole time, but whatever he was speaking, I think it's very, very good law. What's the future for us? That's the most important. What's the future? Mishra ji was telling us the future is the big firms. We are trying to see to what extent, how we are engaging with the government of India to see how we can create these big firms. He was telling us, and I agree with Mishra ji, whatever he's saying. And let me also congratulate the EIRC led by Vishnu Tulsian for having organized this program again and again, every year, relentlessly. But then I said, what is the future? I believe the future is, about 10 days back, I was speaking in Jaipur, not on this topic. It was an AI conference, and my topic that I was given to speak on was navigating ethics and trust in the age of AI. That was the topic which was given to me. Navigating ethics and trust in the age of AI. I think this profession is the insolvency profession. In the long run, we'll have to embrace ethics, and we'll also have to grapple with the impact of AI on the profession, just like all other professions are grappling. With these words, I wish all of you a very, very successful conference, and I wish all of you a very happy learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, sir, and our gratitude for sharing your insight and the background, what has went through while forming the committee and others. Friends, it's time we listen from the CGM of IBBI, Sri Shiv Anand Sekhar, sir. Please give a huge round of applause and welcome him for his address.
Namaskar, thank you. We have been listening to all the leading lights. Honorable NCLET member, Justice Shri N. Seshasai sir, thought leader Shri Suman Batra sir, who is among with us, dear insolvency professionals and other experts who are part of various panels, distinguished guests who are part of the dais and the audience, a very good morning to all of you. First of all, I thank Eastern India Regional Council Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, led by Shri Vishnu Tulsian sir, for giving me this opportunity. It's a pleasure for me because I have a small connection. Like there's a saying that all Nobel laureates have had a connection with Kolkata at some point of time. I also had a connection with Kolkata because I did my MBA from here. So it's a pleasure for me to be among with all of you, the community that I'm amongst today. I'm sure this conclave will provide us, and is actually, because the two technical sessions, it was kind of rescheduled, and two technical sessions happened just before this inaugural session. And with the quality that we had, I'm sure this conclave will provide us the discussions and the thoughts that we require to understand initiatives, the developments that are part of the overall reforms, and the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Amendment Bill 2025. In the last session, Shri Suman Batra sir has already spoken in detail and but I'll just cover it briefly because this is the theme and this is the topic that requires to be addressed. As you all are aware, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Amendment Bill 2025 has recently been introduced in the Lok Sabha and it is part of the Select Committee. This amendment bill brings significant benefits by strengthening the efficiency, clarity and fairness of the insolvency framework. It ensures faster admission and faster admission of insolvency cases. That is actually every time you go to a session like this, the first thing that's discussed is why can't the admissions be time bound? So it ensures faster admission of insolvency cases with stricter timelines, reducing delays that erode value. By providing flexibility in resolution plans, including asset-wise sales for complex businesses, the bill maximizes value for creditors and promotes business revival. It also enhances governance by empowering the Committee of Creditors to oversee liquidation. Now it will be one COC, not the Stakeholder Consultation Committee, which used to take care of the liquidation, but the COC which will be overseeing the whole thing, while simplifying procedures such as approvals from NCLT and Competition Commission. Importantly, the bill introduces new frameworks for cross-border insolvency and group insolvency. It also talks about creditor-initiated insolvency resolution, which will modernize the code to address global and interconnected, which will modernize the code to take care of the need of the business at this hour. Collectively, these reforms reaffirm legislative intent, provide certainty to stakeholders, and strengthen India's insolvency ecosystem as a transparent, time-bound and value-maximizing process. Owing to constraints of time, I have just touched upon the few reforms here. You may like to, this will be discussed in this, but in case you want to read it, you should go to the IBBI website. Taking the advantage, because I also handle the research and advocacy wing, I want to reiterate the fact, and those who have done, who do a study of jurisdictional insolvency regimes, it would be but fair for me to say, not to deny that we are one of, IBBI is one of those insolvency regulators which are coming out with a lot of data and a lot of resources for the insolvency professionals to specific and public at large. So please take benefit of this. Recently, we have done 2 research studies, one with IIM Ahmedabad and one with IIM Bangalore. The IIM, I'll just shortly tell you, IIM Ahmedabad study very well laid out based on empirical and data-based study. It is an empirical study. It is a data-based study which lays out that once a company goes through the resolution process, it is not that it loses value. It actually gives back value to the economy. It actually adds to the GDP that we all want that to be. So if we go back to the original thought process that was there behind the IBC, what was the thought process? The thought process was that the NPAs that lock up the capital of the banking system in a capital scarce economy like ours, which is a developing economy, needs to be released back. The risk aversion on the part of the investors, the creditors, needs to be reversed. They should have confidence in a mechanism which gives back, which allows them easy exit. And with all that in background, the idea was that the corporate debtor should be revived, resolved. The issues of the corporate debtor should be revived and resolved in a sense that it leads to 2 things. One is it is resolved in a time-bound manner, and the other is there is a value maximization, so that the entrepreneurial spirit and the capital that's involved both remain viable and they remain circulated in the economy. So that thing got proved with the data-backed thing that yes, those companies which are going through the insolvency resolution process, IMA study proved that on all the counts of a corporate like liquidity, be it sales, be it employment, be it the capex, liquidity, on all the counts, the corporate after going through the liquid resolution process does improve on all these parameters. So this kind of settled at the issue that yes, the resolution processes are really resolution and not the recovery. Generally the discussion is whether it's the recovery or whether it's the resolution. So the IM study kind of laid that question, laid to rest that particular suspicion that it's all about recovery and it's not about resolution. Then there was another issue that we always said that laws should lead to behavioral change, and then how to measure it. So that the other study that IBBI conducted in collaboration with IIM Bangalore was about the behavioral change that IBC has brought over the last 9 years of its existence. And again, it came to the fore in this study that both creditors as well as debtors are taking this business of resolution from a new perspective. The creditor in possession model did lead to a change in how the accounts moved from standard to overdue to default and then back. The study shows that the change in the velocity of the movement from one category to others is proving that the debtors as well as the creditors, they both have confidence that the IBC can yield better results, and therefore there is a change in the way things were handled earlier. There was a saying that earlier, if there was an NPA, the owner would go and say that it's the problem of the bank, technically of a regulated entity if it's a bank. So he would go and say that now it's your problem how you handle it, and then the bank was in a fix. But today it's the other way around. The bankers or the creditors can set their own time limits because there's always this IBC framework that is there in the background. With this research studies being there and the data being there, we are all sure that the IBC is doing wonderful, and we should all be proud of a system that has proven, that has like achieved what it should be. And as I was saying, if you do the cross-jurisdictional study, you would find that it is India's insolvency ecosystem, if not the best, it is among the one of the best and the most developed ones. And with the amendment bill in place, definitely it would be helping the entire global business systems to grow faster. Definitely for India it will be there. Now the central theme of the economic survey, now from IBBI perspective, we are a regulator of this profession as well as the process. The central theme of the economic survey 2024-25 is simplification and deregulation by government agencies wherever possible and necessary. It calls for a fundamental shift in the operating principle of regulators from a low trust quotient to regulated entities to a high trust quotient, that is innocent until proven guilty. Now the move is towards light touch regulatory approach, which has also been advocated by the government in the Honorable FM's budget speech of financial year. The government has announced the setting up of a high-level committee for regulatory reforms. The committee will make recommendations to make the regulatory architecture of the economy more people-friendly, business-friendly, modern, flexible, and trust-based, with the overarching objective of strengthening trust-based economic governance. And I'm sure we are all moving towards IBBI, our frontline regulators, IPAs, the various other bodies. We are all looking towards this, and how to strengthen trust-based economic governance. And in fact, the amendment bill is a step in that direction. Now, let me go back to what is the regulatory mechanism. In fact, if you see IBBI, the fundamental principle that has been there in the IBBI at the back of the people in the IBBI while having regulatory intervention, has been extensive public consultation and feedback. This year also, we came out with 2 discussion papers. One is related to the process, and the other is related to the profession. With regards to profession, it's related to the number of assignments that we have. And now that since we are moving towards a regime where liquidation and resolution would both be seamlessly integrated, therefore there is a need for earlier with the limit for assignments was only for resolution. Now it would be a combined approach for all 3 categories of activities that we take under the when we take the license of a insolvency professional. The principle of public consultation and feedback is embedded in very mechanism. We have a mechanism to make regulations. Making regulations adopted by IBBI and codified in the IBBI regulations. These regulations ensure that regulatory decisions emerge from active dialogue with stakeholders rather than being developed in isolation. The 3 substantive aspects of this mechanism are: 1, public consultation to be held before every regulation. We also conduct and publish an economic analysis of every proposed regulation. And overall, we also review all the regulations that are there every 3 years and evaluate if they are required or they need to be repealed or amended. Since 2016-17, when the code came into being, a total of 986 discussion papers have been put up in public domain, and that shows how responsive we are to the required changes. There have been 139 roundtable discussions with the stakeholders, including the IPs. That this indicates the commitment of IBBI to stick to the predefined mechanism before finalizing any regulatory reform. Transparency extends beyond regulation making to IBBI's overall governance. In addition to the consultation process, the board regularly publishes the meeting agendas and decisions of the governing board on its website, thereby enabling stakeholders to understand how each regulatory intervention is considered by the board. We are one of those regulators who also do regulatory performance evaluation, where it's very unique to us. The IBBI has commissioned the first of its kind third-party evaluation of its own performance as a regulator. The National Council of Applied Economic Research had conducted this evaluation of IBBI using 97 performance indicators that measured IBBI's regulatory quality and relevance. The report noted that the results of this evaluation confirm IBBI's standing as a relevant, efficient, and high-quality Indian regulator. In the light of the efforts made by the Insolvency Bankruptcy Board of India as a regulator, I believe this is an opportune time for all of us to discuss various issues and improve our understanding of the code so as to keep ourselves ready to deal with the emerging areas. Since we are all here to discuss, and one of the attractions that generally bring people for these discussions is the CPRs. We have recently made changes to the CPE guidelines, continuing professional education guidelines. We are moving towards more physical programs which are more interactive, and we are also proposing a changed environment in which it will be the CPRs have to be garnered every year rather than on a rolling block method. So there would be more, we are expecting more enhanced interaction with you during the programs that we do, while so that the continuous professional education programs become qualitatively better as of now. With these words, I once again thank all of you for your patient hearing, and I look forward to a fruitful discussion in the various sessions that are scheduled throughout the day. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the distinguished guests.
Thank you so very much, sir. And I am sure most of the professional in the hall would be looking forward to the trust-based economic governance rather than guilty until proven correct. So now is the time we listen from our chief guest. Please give a huge round of applause as we welcome Honorable Justice N. Sesasai, sir, for his address, sir. Welcome, sir.
Okay, if necessary, I'll take it because the time allotted is only 10 minutes. By the time I open, it will be 2 minutes. Shri Vishnu Tulsian, Gyanchand Mishra ji, Debashish Mitra, Shri Shivanand Shankar, Mrs. Suman Batra and a few familiar faces. Shibo Bekal. That's, I very recently came to Delhi about 2 months back and starting to learn some Hindi. And yesterday I came here, I learned at least one phrase in Bengali. Until I went for this conference in Hyderabad, despite the fact I've already become a member of the NCLAT, I had a very poor view or impression about IBC. I always thought it was a panic reaction to save the banks. And to save the banks, you crucify the operational creditors and whole lot of other stakeholders. If banks are mismanaged and squander their opportunity in securing their debts, why should I pay for their mismanagement? After all, when who made profits, bank made profits, others made profit, they don't share their profit with me. Why should I share their burden? This has been my fundamental impression or attitude towards that. But then, the more I am into interact, when you read, see, it is like you read the text of the act, read the various authorities, the judgments of the NCLAT or the Supreme Court, you are very likely to miss the soul of IBC, the purpose of IBC. The Supreme Court, the moment you see there are constitutionality, yes or no, then what is the role of CBC, commercial wisdom, clean slate? Some catchphrases will always be invented over a period of time. But then, why this IBC, what's the larger purpose and how it is integral to the economic purpose of this country to establish this country into a global economic power, it is an entirely different aspect. And I come to learn more about the role of IBC in instilling the confidence in the investors, both locally and outside, and why the strength of the banking sector is paramount in that sense. Yes, someone has to make some sacrifices. At the end of the day, a reorientation does take place within me, that at the end of the day, the operational creditors are whoever they are, there's an element of a commercial risk they take. Not every, I mean, they are not assured of return on everything that do, whether they sell goods or services. Nothing is assured. There's a business risk always is involved. So it possibly it is part of their business risk. But then, as Mr. Suman Batra mildly indicated, that we are through slightly, I will not say slightly through tough times. We know we possibly may escape the crazy American tariff system, but it has visited. We need to, I understand, like in Tamil Nadu, we have the textile industry is going to be hugely hit. So also in West Bengal, the textile industry, the leather industry, the seafood industry, these are some other things I understand is going to be hit. It is again likely to generate NPAs. Likely to generate NPAs. How are you going to tackle? Because RBI says that when there is a NPA, you make demand, no payment, then go to IBC, invoke IBC. But then we also realize that at the end of the day, when somebody is, for no fault of his, it cannot pay, how are you going to help? So it is better that CIIRP comes in earlier than later. So should we wait till the parliament session, the winter session, or should we have an ordinance before that? So I think in that line, after all, at the end of the day, the chartered accountants here, I think you play two important roles. As an IP professional, IP is an entirely different hat you wear. But then there is a client who wants to avoid this situation, who come to you, get consultation. Just tell them, we are going to stand up. We will stand up. And we have decided to stand up against America, against the authority of America. I'm just learning or trying to learn some Hindi, but even in my childhood, there is one song that has always inspired me. Honge kamyab, honge kamyab, honge kamyab ek din. But I have a problem with this. Every time when we sing this song, honge kamyab ek din, but I always wondered, kab aayega wo din. Now I say, honge kamyab, honge kamyab, honge kamyab aaj hi. मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब आज ही. We cannot waste. We cannot waste it. With resilience we will stand up. With resilience we will fight. Give the confidence to your clients that India is here to stand up. We have decided to stand up. That's an optics part of it. But we will prove through our resilience, perseverance, that we are here to deliver. There was a famous advertisement when the going is tough, the tough gets going. Tough times may come and go, but tough men stays. Let's prove to the world that we are here to stay. We are tough and we are going to stay. We are made of, you are not going to get a better time, better opportunity to say that we have arrived at the scene. You cannot ignore. If people say it's a dead economy, I would say that they are consciously blind. We ignore, but we are here to stand up. Having said that, you come to the other part, IBC. How IBC and its working is going to be positioned in a situation such as this, it is something we need to address sooner than later. Reduction in GST, maybe it's kind of a mock trial. We are going to, you see different channels in the television. Depending on the political agenda they have, they said, it is, oh, come on, it is going to be very marginal, 2%, 5%. Okay, the size of the industry, in terms of GDP, you say it is 5%. In size of the workforce behind that industry, it is enormous. You want to develop vocal for local is absolutely great slogan, but the local must have money to keep the local market going. So if a lack of workforce is going to be denied job, how you are going to manage? Fortunately, government appears to be taking a lot of steps to diversify the market from Africa to Japan to EU. It gives us tremendous confidence why we cannot rise now. Coming back to IBC and its working, as indicated, it's not just IIM Ahmedabad felt. Even this morning I was sharing with some of the friends here. Let us not gloss over, despite what the statute says, some of the judgments say. Let us not gloss over. IBC in essence, except section 10 mechanism, IBC section 7 and 9 are recovery mechanism. The long and short of it is not reviving a company. Now, why should you revive a company? In which case, if you want to preserve a company, revive a company, CIIRP is a better option than CIRP. Therefore, I would rather say how to preserve this company, how investor confidence. I'm extremely, that one important area which I was worried. I was not very happy with IBC. That the important part is, now when I made this opinion, initial opinion, and continued with this opinion despite joining in CLAT, knowing that I'm fully bound by the authorities and the principles that governs this branch of law, this branch of jurisprudence, I still know that I'm bound by that, but then the forum such as this gives me a space to express myself. As a student of law, I still question what I do, but I'm still doing it for an entirely different purpose. Fully conscious about what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, this CIRP for me, somebody like me, bridges my what I do with what I'm convinced. My conviction and what I do are at a distance apart. Now it is getting bridged. But I would also like to address another aspect. If CIRP is something to do with pre-insolvency resolution process, I will take one step further. Banks I would rather consider as a silent investor in the business. It may be a debt, it has to be repaid, that's all okay. Ultimately, it is a silent investor, except that it doesn't make choice about investment, but still it assesses where the investment goes, where the money goes. It is not just somebody goes and asks for money, the bank is going to give you the money. You go through a project, you check the viability, and then you advance the money. So in that sense, when you assess, when you make a prudent judgment about the viability of your, not just about your funds, viability of, this investment is going to get you back, the returns on that investment, then I would always say that banks is a silent investor, an invisible investor in the whole business. Rather than going for restructuring business, debts and how to get back your money, why can't the bank expand its thought process and see how to save the business? You want to see, now what happens is, you have a business, it goes to CIRP, remove the board of directors and put the RP in place, go for 2 years, forget about the timeline, whenever it applies to judiciary, it is always directory. So whenever it comes to this, at the end of the day, all you have is about 2 years of loss. You are not still not seen the money. Therefore, in my view, if there is a participation of the bank in helping the businessman how to run the business where they made some commercial mistakes in deciding, taking business decisions, I think that should be useful. If at the end of the day, the whole idea is to minimize loss for the banks, minimize loss for the business, and anyway, the chartered accountants may not be losing, because greater the business, greater your work more as an auditor for the company rather than IP for the company. You cannot kill the businessman. Second, why I am happy with that CIRP is that I have read some constitutional law and I value right to property enormously. At a very personal stage, I value right to property, and I don't want to give anything. I simply don't want to part with my property, be it even an ordinary pen. Why should I lose my property? Here is somebody who, with all the hopes and dreams, does not float a shell company. If it is not a shell company, he has floated a company, promoted it, be with that for 10-15 years. Suddenly he sees, for ABC reason, he is in the risk of losing the very business he has put. A business gives, let us put ourselves in the shoes of an entrepreneur. It gives me an identity. It gives me a livelihood. It has given me a livelihood to so many people working for me. For ABC reason, for my couple of my business decisions may have gone wrong, but then why should I lose a business overnight? I am going to resist it. I am going to resist it. And what this one does, IBC does, it is an expropriatory in character in removing them, removing the directors from owning the business they were owning till yesterday. It is, they had put their blood, soil, sweat and tear into building that business. For some misfortune struck, a certain Donald Trump decides something, some business may face the prospects of getting into NPA zone. Things can happen. Not every businessman is an angel, but not every businessman is a sinner. Therefore, I again advocate, let the banks participate in the business. They don't appoint the non-executive directors very easily. First, I get to understand they don't get right men. Secondly, even if the right men are available, they are afraid because most bank officials and these directors, they want to have a peaceful post-retirement life. They don't want the policemen knocking their doors up when they are 70, 75 years. So this is another problem. So if you look back beyond IBC, we can make the whole concept of IBC less cumbersome. We not, and this is my preliminary feeling. Second aspect about the working of IBC. The one-man COC and MSME is a dangerous combination for me. One-man COC and MSME, because I go present my own resolution and clean slate, all the operational creditors will be having a lollipop to chew and they will not get anything. I will continue my business. So this arrangement, someone, I think somebody like Suman Batra doesn't spend this is my impression. Maybe I'm wrong. But sitting there as in NCLAT tomorrow, I will still follow the same rules of the game. But then, as I earlier entered a caveat, a forum such as this gives us space to express myself. Maybe that we experience, because if IBC, the working of IBC get a bad name, I can list them couple of areas I can safely list them. And one important area is one-man COC, and one-man COC wherever it is. Why should it be? Why should it go for a mandatory resolution process when at the end of the day, you give a dog a bad name and hang it and snatch the property and give it to somebody else at half the price? This is somewhere down the line unconscionable, and all you need to do is to manage the bank. The deal is struck. This is the blunt truth about the whole thing. We may not agree, but here lies the truth. Secondly, the other aspect, the first session I was talking about PG, and a question somebody asked from the floor, and whether, I mean, PARP, rather the liability of the PG can be addressed in the resolution process. I have my serious doubt. But then sitting there in NCLAT, I may decide, because there's one judgment of Justice Bhushan that enables it. I think so. And but then that judgment also does not discuss about one aspect. What is the scope of the power of the jurisdiction of the COC? The jurisdiction of the COC is to secure its money by providing a resolution platform for the CD company. When I am appointed as a COC, my job is to see what to optimize the CD based on its valuation. I am not valuing the PG. Why should you telescope? Where is the jurisdiction to decide on the PG? Unless all the creditors in the COC, they agree that we will relieve the PG and get it. That's a different scenario. But otherwise, I think it's a question mark, because I extremely doubt we will be transgressing jurisdiction. PGs are treated differently. CARP is intended exclusively for CD, and COC operating within the scheme of CARP for the CARP, things only for the CARP are not is authorized to even think about PGs. Therefore, what if I am an operational creditor? You pay me 1%, good enough, but I know that I have got a PG and I can proceed against a PG. But then you tie up the PG there in the resolution plan and deny me the right. Who said the operational creditor should not take a PG? He can. Therefore, I think I want to interject when somebody asks a question in the first session I was attending. I thought I will interject to give my opinion, but then I thought I will lose a point here. But then, having said that, it gives me absolutely pleasure, and it was a great opportunity for me to be here. And at least I had an in-depth understanding about the purport and of the impending amendments to IBC. I wish the organizers all the very best and all the participants all the very best. God bless you. Jai Hind.